Think you know Captain America? Think again. In the next few minutes, we'll reveal 10 shocking Steve Rogers moments that shook the Marvel Universe, stories that left fans perplexed, heated debates, and permanent changes to the multiverse. Get ready to discover everything from comic book twists, unexpected decisions, personal traumas, and even controversial actions that transformed Captain America from an uncheckable icon to the complex character we all love. Stay until the end, because each story will change the way you see Steve Rogers and his journey as a hero and Marvel symbol. 1. Captain America joins Hydra. One of the most shocking twists came with the Secret Empire storyline. In it, Steve Rogers is revealed to be an undercover Hydra agent. Yes, the symbol of freedom and justice was now an accomplice to a villainous organization. This story divided fans and showed that even the most trusted heroes can have dark sides, whether through manipulation or difficult choices. 2. The death of Bucky Barnes. Few moments have impacted audiences as much as the death of Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. Steve saw his friend and partner fall, a moment that shaped his character, demonstrating that even iconic heroes are not immune to loss and trauma. This event permanently altered the dynamic between Cap and the Avengers. 3. Cap becomes President of the United States in the comics. In an alternate timeline, Steve Rogers is elected President of the United States. The idea of a superhero not only fighting villains, but also legislating and making political decisions shocked many fans. This shift not only transformed his story, but also questioned the limits of real-life heroes. To what extent can a symbol influence political decisions? 4. Confrontation with the Avengers. Steve Rogers has often clashed with his own allies. Whether over disagreements over morality or strategy, he has challenged the Avengers at critical moments. This demonstrated that Captain America's leadership isn't always accepted, and that even heroes can become threats when their principles clash with those of their friends. 5. Steve Rogers' return to time. In several timelines, Captain America has traveled or rewound time, altering important events. These moments have created unforeseen consequences, changing entire realities and shocking fans by demonstrating that even well-intentioned decisions can cause absolute chaos. 6. Captain America vs. Spider-Man. One of the most memorable clashes involves Steve Rogers facing off against Spider-Man. Although usually allies, differences of principle have led to direct confrontations. This tension between heroes demonstrated that even symbols of justice can clash, and that good isn't always clear and absolute in the Marvel Universe. 7. Steve Rogers' death. No story has shaken fans as much as the death of Captain America himself. The loss of such an iconic hero shook the entire Marvel Universe, affecting Avengers and fans around the world. This event reinforced the hero's vulnerability and reminded us that not even the greatest icons are immortal. 8. Captain America takes on the role of Nick Fury. In some alternate storylines, Steve Rogers takes on the role of Nick Fury and leads secret operations for S.H.I.E.L.D. This unexpected shift shocked fans by revealing a completely different side of Captain America, more strategic and even dark, revealing his adaptability and moral complexity. 9. Cap confronts the government regime. In more recent stories, Steve Rogers rebelled against a corrupt government, pitting it against the very nation he swore to protect. This bold stance shocked readers and fans, showing that Captain America is willing to defy authority when justice and morality are at stake, even at the cost of his reputation. 10. The reveal of his human side. Perhaps the most shocking of all is the realization that, despite his strength, morals, and abilities, Steve Rogers is human. He suffers, makes mistakes, questions, and carries deep trauma. These moments of vulnerability make Captain America more real and complex, demonstrating that even the greatest heroes can surprise and shock, not only with their heroic actions, but also with their flaws and dilemmas. Each of these moments shows that Captain America is not just a symbol of justice and bravery, he is a multifaceted character, capable of choices that shock, inspire, and defy expectations. He proves that even icons can have dark sides, controversial decisions, and surprises that completely change the narrative of the Marvel Universe. If you were surprised by these 10 shocking twists in Captain America, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment telling us which moment shocked you the most, and share it with your fellow Marvel fans. After all, the Marvel Universe is full of secrets, and each hero has stories you still need to know. Imagine a world where Marvel's symbol of hope and freedom, Captain America, wasn't the hero we know, but rather the greatest threat in the multiverse. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how Steve Rogers could transform into a ruthless tyrant, what this dark universe would look like, which heroes would dare to stand up to him, and why even Thanos would fear him. Get ready, because this is the darkest version of Captain America you've ever imagined. For many, Captain America is the pillar of Marvel's morality. The perfect soldier, a symbol of courage, justice, and sacrifice. But what if, instead of fighting for freedom, he had become the oppressor? The Marvel Multiverse is full of alternate realities, and in some of them, Steve Rogers isn't the hero we know. He's the nightmare. Let's start with the point of divergence. Imagine the Super Soldier Serum altering not only Steve's body, but also his mind. Instead of amplifying his courage and kindness, the serum would amplify his darker side, his obsession with order, his desire for absolute control, and his inability to accept an imperfect world. In this universe, there is no such thing as freedom. There is only Captain America's iron rule. In this dark scenario, Steve Rogers would not use his shield to defend innocence, but to crush anyone who opposed his New World Order. He would no longer be the Sentinel of Liberty, but rather the Shadow Dictator. Imagine New York covered in flags bearing his star insignia, now transformed into a symbol of fear. And you might be wondering, who would have the courage to face him? Tony Stark might be the first to resist. But even with all his intelligence, Stark's armors would be destroyed one by one. Rogers, with his strategic mind and superhuman power, would turn every battle into a ruthless hunt. Instead of allies, the Avengers would become prey. Thor would try to confront him, but Captain America would manipulate his image, convincing the people that the Asgardian gods were invaders to be eliminated. The Hulk would be hunted mercilessly, exposed as a monster. Black Widow and Hawkeye would likely become fugitives, surviving in the shadows, remembering their friend who had transformed into something unrecognizable. And most disturbingly, the heroes who weren't destroyed could be controlled. Imagine Captain America using technology, or even the Mind Stone, to transform former allies into loyal soldiers, creating an invincible army. A twisted version of the Avengers initiative, now renamed the Legion of Order. In this universe, the Dark Captain America would be a threat not just to Earth, but to the entire multiverse. He would uncover the secrets of the quantum realm, invade other realities, and impose his rule on every version of Earth he encountered. Entire universes would fall before his strategy and determination. Now imagine this encounter: Thanos, wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, face to face with the corrupted Steve Rogers. Does it seem impossible? But consider this: while Thanos seeks balance, no matter how distorted his vision, the Dark Captain seeks absolute domination. He wouldn't hesitate to use the gauntlet itself to mercilessly impose his order. And here's the scariest detail: Rogers knows the human heart better than any villain. He knows how to manipulate, corrupt, and break all who try to resist. In some versions of the multiverse, the Captain has already walked this path. In the comics, for example, we've seen the Hydra Cap reality, where Steve becomes a Hydra agent, transforming himself into a global dictator. What if this wasn't just an isolated reality, but a glimpse of something much larger? Now imagine being an ordinary citizen in this universe, growing up believing in the Captain as a hero, only to see him turn freedom into slavery. His every look would be a sentence, every order an unquestionable law. Hope would cease to exist. And most disturbingly, what would happen if this Dark Captain America discovered the main multiverse, the same one where the heroes we know and love live? The clash between the two Rogers would be inevitable. The hero versus his corrupted self, a battle not only of strength, but of ideology. This clash would be one of the most epic moments in the Marvel Multiverse. The Captain America we know, representing freedom and hope, facing off against the version that represents totalitarian order and darkness. In the end, the question is, which side would win? Is the human heart truly strong enough to resist the temptation of absolute power? The Marvel Multiverse always reminds us that every choice matters. Small details can turn heroes into monsters, and perhaps the most frightening idea of all is this, that even the purest of heroes can fall if reality is cruel enough. And now I want to hear from you. What do you think of this dark Captain America? Could he defeat Thanos, or do the heroes still have a chance against him? Leave your opinion in the comments, share this video with your fellow Marvel fans, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more dark theories from the multiverse. Think you know Captain America? Think again. In the next few minutes, we'll reveal the darkest and most shocking secrets of Marvel's most iconic superhero. From hidden passages in the comics, controversial decisions, moral dilemmas, and choices that nearly destroyed everything he stood for, to truths the films never revealed. Prepare to discover that the symbol of freedom and justice has dark sides few know about. Stay until the end, because each revelation will forever change the way you view Steve Rogers and Captain America's legacy. Even though he's Marvel's idealized hero, Captain America carries secrets that not even the most dedicated fans know. One of them involves his ethical decisions during World War II. Steve Rogers is always portrayed as the perfect soldier, but in the comics, there are controversial moments where he questions and even follows orders that led to the deaths of innocent people. This shows a more human and fallible side of the Captain and makes us wonder, to what extent can the ideal of justice justify the sacrifices he makes? Another dark secret is his relationship with Hydra, the villainous organization he swore to fight. In some alternate storylines, Captain America is revealed to be an undercover agent or, in twisted universes, even controlled by Hydra. These shocking storylines have made fans question the hero as moral compass and show how even the symbol of hope can be corrupted in extreme circumstances. Steve Rogers' personal life also holds dark secrets. Before becoming the Super Soldier, he lived in poverty, faced discrimination, and lost close friends. This history is explored in dark ways in the comics, showing that Captain America's bravery comes not from powers or serum, but from resilience in the face of suffering. Personal tragedy shaped his future decisions and often resulted in morally ambiguous choices. One of the most controversial moments in the comics involves Captain America's confrontation with his own allies. There are stories in which he clashes with the Avengers, questioning decisions he considers morally wrong. In some versions, these fights nearly lead to the group's destruction. It is frightening to realize that Marvel's most trusted hero can sometimes be a threat to his own friends, when justice conflicts with loyalty. Another shocking secret involves Steve Rogers and time manipulation. In some stories, he travels back in time to alter events and prevent catastrophes, but each alteration has grave consequences. He inadvertently causes deaths, political crises, and drastic changes in alternate realities. These stories show that Captain America is not only an unbeatable hero, he is also vulnerable to the consequences of his choices and is sometimes responsible for tragedies unseen by the public. Furthermore, few know that Captain America was once nearly corrupted by the power of the Super Soldier Serum. Some comics explore darker versions of Steve Rogers, where he becomes authoritarian or obsessed with justice, going against those he is supposed to protect. These stories remind us that even the greatest heroes have inner flaws, and that power without moral limits can become a destructive force. One of the most intriguing secrets concerns the vibranium shield. Besides being a weapon, it has symbolic and psychological implications. In some narratives, the shield carries such a heavy burden of responsibility that it influences decisions and pressures Steve Rogers to act in extreme ways. The shield isn't just physical protection. It's a moral burden, a constant reminder that Captain America's every action has profound consequences. It's also worth highlighting Captain America's ideological conflicts. In modern comics, he's forced to confront dilemmas such as the government imposing restrictions on heroes, the divide between freedom and control, and the manipulation of information. These stories show that the symbol of American justice is infallible, and that even heroes can be pressured into dark choices that challenge their moral code. Finally, there's the psychological legacy of being a hero extended in time. Steve Rogers lived decades outside his time, lost friends and loved ones, and witnessed wars and destruction. These experiences leave deep scars, showing that Captain America, despite all his physical and moral strength, carries traumas and burdens that no one can imagine. The perfect hero on the outside is human and vulnerable on the inside. These are just some of Captain America's darkest secrets that you probably never knew. Behind the symbol of freedom, justice lies a man with moral dilemmas, controversial decisions, personal losses, and profound vulnerabilities. Steve Rogers proves that even the greatest heroes have dark sides, making his story even more fascinating and complex. If you were surprised by these revelations, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment about which secret shocked you the most, and share it with your friends. After all, every Marvel fan deserves to know the darker side of their favorite heroes.